Welcome to the A to Z of Dynamics 365 marketing. We're on the letter M, and that's all about marketing forms. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's dig into marketing forms. So with marketing forms, you can create 4 different types of forms. So we'll look at those. And you can also have your forms where you access them on a portal, which is part of the Dynamics marketing app if you want to use it, or, which is what we're going to look at here, is you can embed them within your own website, which to me is the preferred method, because then you've got your website branding and everything, and it's just slotting that form directly into web pages that are already on your website. So to me, that's a better approach. If you want to do that, then you will have had to have set up your domain, the website where you want to host your pages. You will have to have that already set up in the domain authentication. So if you don't know what that is, go and check out letter D for domains, and you'll see how you set up your domains that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll click new to add a new form. And what we're going to get is just like you should be used to by now when we look at different pieces of content. For so many things, we get templates. So you can create your own templates, or you could scroll through and you could look and see, okay, well, what is the best template for me and my scenario? I can click on it. I can then go ahead and I can view it a little bit larger, and I can scroll through the different templates, and I can see maybe what they're going to be used for, or used for even. So let's go ahead and we'll select this one. So I'm going to select that template. What it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and load the form editor for us. Now, I'd mentioned that there were 4 different types of forms. If I come up here and I click onto the form type, we can see that we have landing pages. Landing pages are going to be what you would use for just saying, hey, fill out this form if you want to download a white paper, or we want to ask for more information about you, whatever that might be, a contact us form, that kind of thing. Subscription center is going to be where somebody is saying, I want to opt in to get content from you on these specific subjects or topics. Forward to a friend will be, if you look at the letter F, it's already covered, and that will basically be the ability to click on a link on an email, and the person can then say they want to forward it on to other people. And finally, we've got event registration, which is fairly straightforward and self-explanatory. It's registering for an event. Okay, so once we've got our form, we can see that we've got different fields. And again, we've looked at form fields. We've got different fields that we are able to pull onto our form. So let's say I want to add in another field. I can look in the toolbox area, scroll down, and I see all of the fields that I have that have been set up as form fields that are available to me. Or if it's not there, I can go ahead and I can click to add a new marketing form directly from here. I don't have to jump back into the form fields area. If I've got a field that I want to go ahead and add, I can go ahead and I can drag over and drop it, and I can just put it in place of where I want it to show. I can then go ahead and I can change things about this. So I could put a placeholder. So I could say, please add your salutation, whatever it might be. I can say I want this to be required. We now see the red asterisk. I can say, okay, well, if somebody doesn't fill that out, do we want to show a specific error message? So a required error message. Do we want the label on the top? Do we want the label on the left, on the right? We can change that around. What's the character width, maximum number of characters, and so on. We can hide fields as well. And we can also set pre-fill. So if the field is already filled out on a contact record, and we already know who that person is, if we set pre-fill to be on, we can have that field automatically be populated. And then we have things like the padding and the margin, so we can change things around a little bit. Okay, so once we've gone ahead and we've put everything into our form, we also are saying, okay, well, what are we going to be doing? Are we updating contact and leads from this form? Only contact or only leads? So that's an important thing to be aware of. If I look at the summary page, I then have information. I've got the name of this form. So if you use a template, it's going to use the name of the template and some generated characters, which aren't going to make much sense. So I might just say basic contact form, whatever I want to call this. We then have, okay, well, what's the default contact and lead matching strategy? So typically that would be based on email address. If somebody fills this out, uses the same email address that you've got on records already in your system, we are not going to create second or third or fourth versions of that record because the duplicate detection rules will be set in place. If you're using double opt-in, we can say, we want to enable it for this. We can say, yes, let's enable double opt-in. But then what we need is a confirmation email that we have set up that we can use to say, okay, but what's going to be sent back to the person to confirm the subscription changes or confirm whatever it is that they're opting into. We can then say, okay, well, what content settings are we using? And also, how do we say thank you once somebody has actually clicked to confirm the double opt-in? So if we do that, we have a few additional things that are going to be required. I'm not going to enable double opt-in, so I do not need that. And then saying, okay, well, what do I want to do when somebody has submitted it? If I just have a success notification, that text will be displayed on the page. If I want to redirect somewhere else, so a thank you page that we've created, we can set it and do a redirect there. Okay, once we've got all that information set up, let's just go ahead and save this. What we're going to do is we're going to check for errors. So we're going to see if there's anything about this form that could potentially cause errors. Once we've checked for errors, we're then able to go ahead and get some script that we can then put into our website, and that will then allow us to display the form on the page. So if I check for errors, it's going to look for the errors at the moment in time. So we've got 2 notifications. And what you're going to see is if you have fields that are required on a contact record, they're also going to be required for you to actually put them onto the form. So we can see to create a contact, the last name field should be included in your form and marked as required. To create a lead, the last name field should be put in the form and marked as required. So we don't have that. So if we want to be able to create those types of records, then let's go ahead and look for last name. And let's pull that on to the form and let's make it required. And we'll also make the first name required as well. So I can check for errors again, or if I just click go live, that will always check for errors for me first. And if there are no errors, then we'll go ahead and it will be published. Now, as soon as that happens, what we're going to get is a section called form hosting. Now, if we are putting this into our website, which is what we're going to do, then we will be using this section here. If not, and you have a portal, what you will end up seeing is over in this section, you will see a link to your form that is hosted on the Power Apps portal for your specific Dynamics marketing environment. So if you're going that path, then you will also be setting what you want the full URL string to be, and you will be using the link from that. We are going to look at form hosting. Now, even if you have domains set up, what you're going to see, first of all, is it will say there are no available domains. There actually are, but it's a bit misleading, so ignore that for now. What we're going to do is we're just going to click on New Form Page, and it will give it a generic name. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Basic Form Script. I don't need to change it, but I'm just going to make it look a little bit better. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and save and close that. And what that's going to generate is some script that we're able to then take and use in our website. So if I go back here, notice now that it says, oh, okay, well, actually, you do have a domain that's available for form hosting. So again, when you see that, it's a bit misleading. If you've got your domain authenticated, you will be able to put it on that domain. You will not be able to take this script and put it on another domain that you haven't authenticated. So you need to keep that in mind. So we're going to get this script here, and you're just basically going to copy that and either do it yourself and paste it into the page that you want to display the form on, or you're going to give it to whoever manages your website and tell them that you want it to be on a specific page, and they should know where to put it. All right, so once we've got our script, then what we're able to do is we're able to use that script, and we just basically have it to where now we've got a marketing form that actually is displayed in a website. So this is displayed on my domain because that's the domain we see. Let's just go back. So the domain here that we see is available. We've put it into that specific domain. And now we can see that we've got all our fields available. So I might go ahead and fill this one out. Well, that makes no sense, does it? UK and then zip code, but that's fine. And then for this one specifically, I have some dietary requirements and then a menu selection. So I'm going to go with none, and I'm going to pick, let's do beef burger and chips, and I'm going to go ahead and submit that. Now, because for this one, I just displayed a message. It just says, thank you for your submission. That's great. Now, before we go and look at that specific form and we see where that submission will show up, if we just look at a couple of others, so this one I mentioned the forward to a friend type. So if somebody had clicked on a forward to a friend link on an email they'd received, they'd be taken to this specific form that they'd be able to fill out. Who are they forwarding this to? So again, go ahead and check out letter F for forward to a friend. And on this one, if somebody goes ahead and clicks on the unsubscribe link at the bottom, we will be able to see the ability for them to do certain things. And one of them will be to say, I want to opt in or opt out of different newsletters or different types of content, or I want to basically say, do not email me again. So different types of forms for different scenarios, and you'll just have to check out all the letters of the alphabet to see more on this. All right, if I now go into my marketing forms area, and with this one, this was the form that I filled out, this event registration with menu selection. So that's the form that I just completed. If I go into the submissions area, if you have set it to where you want to store all the submissions, you'll see them here. If not, you will only see the submissions that actually come through as an error so that you can review it and then fix it. Finally, we have insights for every single one of our marketing forms. And the insights are going to show all of the different submissions that we have, any unique submissions, any contact updates, lead updates, all of that sort of stuff. And then we're going to be able to see the submissions. We can see here's the one that was just done, and it was done on the contact for Jane Doe, who also has a related lead. So that would have been updated if we had set it to do that. And then also if we've got any visits as well that maybe didn't actually have submissions, but we've got visits to it and they didn't actually follow through, we would see that too. So it's a bit of a crash course on marketing forms. Certainly a lot of documentation out there, and I've written about marketing forms on several of my blogs, so you can go ahead and check that out at meganvwalker.com. So M is for marketing forms. There you go. Hi, I'm Megan Walker. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something from it. If you don't want to miss out on any other content, you can go ahead and click on my face below to subscribe. And if you want to watch the next video, you can do that by clicking over here and go ahead and get started. Thanks again.